soon as I open my mouth to speak. Welcome back, everybody, welcome back. My dog is needy for attention. It's Christmas Eve. I have a whopping 2 days off, which is the most you can get in the work that I do. So I'm grateful. And I'm spending these days doing doll projects. And today, here, I have a doll project. I'm gonna do this box opening of this Bella. I feel like this is an anticipated release, probably not for the right reasons. This is a Resin Craft Rainbow High doll. Now, why MGA continues to insist upon marketing resin to children, I don't know, but they're really into it, and Rainbow High has come out with a doll where you craft all of her accessories out of resin. I wouldn't say she's the quality we expect from Rainbow High. She seems to have gotten quite a downgrade in quality, which is unfortunate because really it was the highest quality fashion doll on the market, and now they're so interested in doing gimmicks, we're kind of losing the quality. I'm not usually interested in the gimmick, but this time I was interested in the gimmick. So there is some value for me in the gimmick this time, which is why I really wanted to try this one out. Here's the front of the box. As you can see, the doll is in there with all of her little resin molds, her resin, her accessories, which we're gonna decorate with the resin they've provided. Side of the box says Bella. Other side of the box just looks like that. You can kind of see into it. And on the back is a photo of Bella, all the accessories that you can make, and a child looking so happy wearing the ring you can create. Wow. I mean, aesthetically, like it looks messy in the box, which is so something I'm not used to from Rainbow High. Like I just feel like there's too much going on, but I'm overwhelmed by the way that looks. I'm underwhelmed by the way the doll looks. So there's only one thing to do at this point, and it's to get her out of the box. I'm gonna review the doll, we're gonna flip the camera around, and we're gonna try the resin crafting. I'm not like an expert resin crafter. I just enjoy it. I've done the other resin crafts from MGA, the Miniverse crafts, and I enjoy those. I've also gotten into making eyes for ball jointed dolls, so I have some experience with resin. I'm by no means an expert. I'm gonna use some of the tips and tricks that I learned doing those things with this doll in the hopes that the accessories will come out in a way that I can live with. I just want them to be good enough. I'm gonna turn the camera off, I'm gonna unbox her, and I'll be right back. It was an ordeal of an unboxing experience, my friends. That was probably one of the worst ones ever. I'm gonna show you what came in the box, the messy looking box. So of course there's a comb. This one has a point on it, I'm assuming to help you get into the corners of the resin. But if you do use the comb in the resin, make sure you harden the resin because resin is toxic when it's not hardened. That's probably something you should know. You could also clean it off with alcohol, but hardening it is the surefire way to not get poisoned by resin. Of course, there's the little bottle of resin. It looks like this. There you go. Does it tell you that it's toxic? It might in this little pamphlet. She also comes with these glasses. They're cute. I don't mind them. I like that they're a cat eye. They're white and you put a resin lens in them with a resin design. There's this ring, that's for you. I have child-sized fingers, but it doesn't fit me, which is shocking. It will stretch. Like if I try really hard, I can get it on. Also, all of the things that were meant to have jewels come with this plastic on it. First of all, that's just a waste because the environment doesn't need more plastic in it. We get it, we understand what we're supposed to do. It was literally just to show you, give you an idea of what the project is supposed to look like. And all the money that they wasted on plastic and, used to kill the planet, they could have spent making her an outfit that's not a pile of garbage. So anyway, there's your little ring. Not gonna be making that one today, I have no interest in it. She has a headband here. It's got this little pink thing that snaps in. It doesn't seem to have the most secure fit. So after your project is finished, you're probably gonna wanna glue that in or resin it in, but I don't know because I don't know the plastic is transparent enough to actually create a good bond with resin. There's your mold for your ring. This is 1/2 of a purse. It says Rainbow High, and I actually think the candy theme for her is cute. I liked the theme of this doll and I thought she was cute. It's just the quality isn't there, This is a completely plastic purse. It's got a little gold chain. It says Rainbow High and sort of a candy store vibe on it. It's fine. This is one of my favorite pieces. It's a really cheap, unfortunately, plastic little thing. That's a collar. Mine has shards of plastic hanging off of it. It's meant to go around the neck and be a collar piece, and you put little pink gems in the hearts. That I like. I love a detachable collar. I left these taped together so I didn't lose them because they're very small. She comes with these candy earrings, which I think are actually very cute. Here's the rest of the molds. They are pink, which is fine. It'd probably be better if they were clear, but they are quite transparent. Oh, they say things on them, that's cute. And they're silicone, so they're appropriate good molds for resin crafting. So that's great. So that's the one for the eyeglasses and the earrings. This is the other half of the bag. I'm gonna do all the little accessories first because they're the things I'm most interested in, and if there's enough resin after I've like screwed up and like tried a few times, I will make the bag. That's the last thing I'm gonna make. And this is the little bow for the headband and the little hearts for the detachable collar. The doll. I'm already sighing. She's okay. I mean, I picked her because I really liked her face, but I feel like her face really isn't living up to the stock photos. I really liked how intense the difference was between the center of the lip and the rim of the lip in the stock photos, and it's not like that in person, and it's also very strange on the inner. What is that? Is it glitter? Like, I can't even tell, but I feel like it's kind of ruining the vibe for me. But anyway, here's her face. It's cute. She has got a sort of blonde eyebrow that fades from light to dark. She's got a few painted on hairs there. She's got extraordinarily long eyelashes. They are rooted, you know, they're attached to the eyeball when they shove them in. The makeup, which is hard to see, is pink. I hate it here. The makeup, as you can see, is pink. It's got glitter on it. I like it. I don't have a problem with it. She's got a wing. She's got some dark makeup under the eyes, some cute little lashes. It's cute. She's cute. She's got some pretty blushing on the cheeks. I think that adds a lot. The lips, which are the most disappointing part, fade from dark pink to light pink, and they've got the glitter. I feel like the glitter ruins it. I don't like it. I've never had a Bella before. She's cute. Did I talk about the color of her eyes? The classic Rainbow High color, purple and blue. It's not my favorite, but I liked her hair. It's pink. It's got this little curly vibe. Actually, it doesn't even look that bad. Like, I thought the hair was gonna be so much worse. She'll get a little wash and like a little fixing up, but I like it. I like the style of it. She's got these little twists that pull back into little ponytails there. It's very cute and flat on the front. I like it. It's soft and there's virtually no product in it, which is probably why it didn't come out of the box looking like a pile of garbage, if we're being honest. The back actually isn't even like that smashed. The rooting pattern, I'm interested. Actually looks good. I wasn't expecting it. It looks pretty full, pretty nice. That's like the weakest spot right there, and as you can see, it is pretty full. I wasn't expecting it to be that good, if I'm honest, considering the drop in quality. Let's come down to the outfit, which I liked in the stock photos and hate in real life. As you can see, it looks inexpensive. In the stock photos, it looks a lot nicer than it does in person, unfortunately. I actually purchased the doll after like I knew what was going on and that the skirt was plastic. I had seen like an actual photograph of this top piece and I was like, ah, it's ugly, but I can fix it. Unfortunately, I did find out recently that these shirts are actually one piece, and that sucks because it's not going to be as easy to just put a new top over this extremely sheer other top, but it can be done because technically there is a whole shirt under there, so it doesn't really make sense why they insisted upon sewing them together. If you seam rip it apart, you can remove this from this, you can sew the seams back up, and it will be two pieces. So if that's something you're interested in, it can be done in a relatively easy way. Anyway, let's have a look at the pieces. I'm gonna start with this little poorly fitting t-shirt, the little pink t-shirt. It's just a pink t-shirt. It seems to not fit quite right. I would love for it to be tighter against her body. It has a cap sleeve. It says Rainbow High in gold on it. There's really not much more to say about it. Zooming out a little bit to this extremely sheer collared shirt, I feel like it's not that bad on its own. If it were not paired with a really cheap looking t-shirt and this very strange plastic skirt, I feel like it would be fine. It's like making it look cheaper. It does have a little collar there. It's entirely sheer, it's white, it's got this faux little button detail, it's got long sleeves, it's got a little cutout here on the cuff, which is a cute little detail, I suppose. The hem is rounded, and the back looks, unfortunately, as to be expected. But coming down here to the most offensive part of this outfit, this plastic skirt. Now, aesthetically, I like it. Practically, it's disgusting. Why plastic clothes? Why? Is it supposed to be like a gem? Like, I think that was like the mindset. Like, oh, it's plastic, it looks like gems. No, it's also a very confusing style. Let's look at it in all its hideous glory. It has, for some reason, sort of like a sporty waistband on it, but that sporty waistband also has like a kawaii bow. It has a raised heart pattern on it. It also has molded bows and a molded trim. Now my plan for this, which I'm gonna try and see if it'll work, is to actually take this and use it as a mold and try and steam a piece of wool felt into the shape of this skirt. Then I'll add proper real fabric bows, a proper real fabric trim, and it'll be like, you know, like, I don't know if it'll work because I don't know if this is like enough to make that happen, but I will try it, and you know, if it works, you'll find out. Especially if you follow me on Instagram. There's a link on the channel homepage. So, full disclosure, I had seen somebody else post about this. I was on Instagram and somebody had posted a picture of their Bella's shoes, and they're like, are these different? Do these look different to you? Are your doll's shoes different? And so I did open the box, I pulled the doll out, and indeed, these are different. One seems to have like an iridescent, pearlescent coating over the top of it, and the other one doesn't. That's a little disappointing. Where's the quality control, MGA? Where is it? But other than the fact that they do not match, they're actually really cute, and I like them aesthetically. They're a transparent pink plastic. They do have a little candy on the top. One is pearlescent, the other one is not. They have a really cute block heel that's sort of like gem reminiscent, with a little platform, and they've got cool treads on them. I like shoes with cool treads on dolls because I feel like it makes it look more like people-y. So I love the shoes. I wish that they matched. The posability on the doll is traditional Reboot Rainbow High. She has head and a little bit side to side. It'll spin all the way around. You can make her into the exorcist. She'll be the cutest exorcist you've ever seen. She has the elbow that bends to 90. Unfortunately, the wrist mobility is gone. She has a double jointed knee that actually is impeded by the stupid plastic skirt. And then, of course, another thing that's going to be impeded by the stupid plastic skirt is her capacity to sit. Cool. I do have another little Rainbow High skirt, but all the details are silver. Let's throw her in it and just see. I put her in this skirt. I got it with the Rainbow High closet thing, and the metals don't match, but I feel like it improves the outfit like dramatically. So, just saying, this doll would have been so much better with just the simplest of fabric skirts even. Anyway, that is the doll. I just keep like sighing because I don't mind the base doll. I like her, but she like doesn't quite live up to like what I wanted her to be. And I think the outfit is just like not that good. It's like the biggest fall off in quality that we've seen from Rainbow High, which is disappointing because I feel like their whole like vibe was like cool fashion. These were like cool fashion girls. They're like fashion designers. That's what the school was all about. And I feel like they kind of like, with the reboot, I feel like they just lost so much of what the brand was about. The car has a lot to say. Anyway, I'm gonna switch this camera angle. We're gonna move down to the table. We're gonna work on these resin crafts, and it's gonna be so much fun. This is actually the part of the doll that I'm most excited about for the first time ever, is the gimmick craft. I am an adult though, you know, and resin's not for children. And I've got my setup here. I've got my resin sitting in a warm bath because the thinner it is, the fewer air bubbles you're going to get. Now, water and resin do not mix, so make sure to just wipe that bottle off before you open it to make sure that you don't get any water mixed in with your resin, okay? I've got my molds all set up. You do want to let these cure in a flat surface, and I'm using this towel. So my curing station is off to the side. I've got this lamp, and I've also got one of these lamps here. We're gonna try both of them, see which one works better. I have read the instructions, and they're somewhat different. In the larger molds, you wanna fill them up part of the way, cure, and then finish filling them up. For the smaller molds, you can fill them up all the way and then cure them. All right, so this has been sitting here for a minute. I'm just gonna dry it off. All right, so I'm gonna start with this mold. This is the one they say you can fill up all the way immediately. Do I trust that? I don't know. Certainly on the earrings, but I'm not sure on this. Oh, it's not that thick, I see. So I'm gonna fill it as much as I can. I'm gonna try to get it into every little crevice. So I'm gonna move this around, try to ensure that it's getting into every little crevice. You can also use the comb, I think. I think this is partially what this is for. So I'm just gonna push it in. It's really kind of difficult to get it into the bottom. I'm just gonna move it around a little bit. I probably shouldn't have filled it up so fast. I think that would have been helpful. I do want to make sure it's completely full. And then it says to take the comb and just wipe it across to move any excess resin out of the way. I'm just gonna fill these little earrings. These look really small. These will probably come out fine. Actually, I'm completely lying because the crevices are so tiny. It's gonna be really difficult to get the resin into them. It looks full to me, I can't really tell. I'm gonna go ahead and cure it and see what happens before I do any of these other ones. And then I'll know how to troubleshoot for the future. They also provide you with this little curing station because this mold is not flat. And if it isn't flat, it's not gonna cure properly. So do shove it in there so you can get a proper cure on your project. I've done 5 minutes this way. I'm gonna turn it and do 5 minutes in the opposite direction. All right, so that's been curing for 10 minutes. I used both lights just to be sure. Let's try unmolding it and seeing what happens. Okay. I mean, there's dog hair stuck to it, but that's my fault. It's not quite right because it had a really hard time getting into those tiny little crevices. So I'm gonna try shoving it into one of the earrings and seeing what happens. I'm just trimming this excess off. Am I wasting my time? I don't know. All right, so they did snap in there and they don't look the best. The really small crevices in the mold are really hard to get into. I think maybe filling it up a little bit slower and moving it around a little bit more could potentially help. I might do those again. Let's see what happened with the sunglasses. All right, a little bit more challenging to unmold. If a child is doing this, I would recommend adult supervision. Well, I would anyway, but they're gonna need help getting those out. Those actually look better than the earrings, probably because the little crevices weren't as itty bitty tiny. But let's see if they snap in to the glasses. It'd be cool if they did. Okay, so they're in there. They're not fitting perfectly. I think if I sand it a little bit, it might work better. That's passable though. And I feel like for a kid, that would be fine. As an adult who has like a problem with things being perfect, it's not fine for me. So I'm gonna work on it a little bit harder. But like, yeah, it functions. Mine do have some air bubbles in them. I'm not gonna worry about it. I don't know if you can avoid it, if I'm being honest, but they're not the worst. And I feel like that looks kind of okay. The earring is stuck into my arm. Fabulous. And I'm gonna try this mold and see how it goes. I also hardened my comb because I kept touching it with my hands. Please be careful, resin is toxic. You should be wearing gloves and technically a respirator mask, which I'm not doing. This is the mold where they said to fill it in parts. So that's exactly what I'm gonna do. My resin has been sitting in its warm bath while I hardened the first one. I'm gonna go slower this time. I'm gonna move it around a little bit more, and I'm gonna hope for the best. I'm really trying to just push it into the crevices because that's where I went wrong last time. I actually might need to grab something smaller if I do those earrings again to really get into those tiny little cracks. So much larger. Oh, there's a giant dog hair in it. Of course there is. Crafting with the animals. I'm also going in and popping these little air bubbles with the comb, or I'm trying to. This one's being a problem. Are you gonna be a real problem? Your tough air bubbles you can put out with flame. Again, not really great for children. And I can see that there's air bubbles down in both of those places. I don't think there's anything I can do about it. I'm just gonna cure this, fill it up the rest of the way, cure it again, and we'll see how it turns out. All right, I'm back with this one. I'm curing some more earrings off camera. I'm just filling these molds the rest of the way. And then I'm gonna cure it again, 5 to 10 minutes, and hope that these come out nice. The end. All right, that other set is still curing. It doesn't seem to be going well. There's giant air bubbles in them and they look really bad. But while that was happening, I did manage to make some earrings. Now, they're in there and they're not coming out. The problem is that I did have to use an X-Acto knife to make them fit. Like the tiny crevices, the sandpaper wasn't gonna do anything. And so once again, this is why resin crafting isn't for children. It's just too complex. There's too many things that could go wrong. And so here's this. This one has giant air bubbles in it. These look like they might be okay. I'm gonna unmold them and see what's going on. And then see, because I think that they're not quite smooth in the back either. So I'm gonna unmold them and we'll see. We'll just see. Giant air bubble, garbage. And this was with warm resin. So remember, if you don't warm your resin, it's gonna be even worse. This one actually looks fine. I think I'm gonna have to sand them down, but let's see. Let's try. Here's my little collar. That's actually terrible. And there's a dog hair in that one. So I was able to get one of the hearts in. The other one I can't get in, so I'll try again. That was the one with the dog hair in it anyway, and a lot of air bubbles. So we'll just try again and see if it'll work later. I'm gonna unmold this. I know I'm not gonna like this piece. I know I don't like the way it looks because it's got huge air bubbles in it. It's so ugly. Look, hideous. All right, so I did break out my own tools here. I brought out some nail buffers and a magic eraser to try and sort of buff it back to a bit of a shine. You can also put a little bit more resin on there, but I don't really want to get started with it because I might try to remake this. I'm just trying to fit this into this piece. And that's what I'm doing right now. I'm sanding off the back because it had a big lump in it, and I'm trying to make it look presentable. So that's probably as buffed as it's gonna get. You can see it's pretty cloudy. There it is. It looks absolutely awful. It also is very heavy, so I imagine you're gonna have to resin this into here or glue it into here to actually make it stay. But there's the headband. That's what we're going with for now. I'm gonna go ahead and make one more heart. Then I'm gonna clean out this mess. I'm gonna put the doll together as much as I can right now, and then we'll talk about it in the end. I'm back and it was an ordeal. You saw the trials and tribulations. I'm still sticky, would recommend gloves. Remember, you cannot use water to wash your hands after using resin because they don't mix and they'll just make them stickier. So alcohol is the only way to get that off. My entire surface had to be cleaned with alcohol, even though I put that towel down. I used a lot of tools that were not provided that are also not for children. I used an X-Acto knife, I used scissors. I used my own sanding tools because the ones provided were not appropriate for the project. It's really small, and I've seen them provide better sanding tools for small projects, MGA I mean, and the one that they gave you with this project did not suffice. I was able to complete some of the project. I wouldn't recommend it for children. No, no, nay, nay. This is not a project for children. They will get frustrated. They will mess it up. They will make a mess. And don't forget that resin is toxic. You cannot dispose of it uncured. So any resin that you get on anything has to be cured before you dispose of it. Don't forget, that's very important. As an adult, probably just do it for them while they like sort of like play assistant to you perhaps. But generally speaking, this isn't a doll for a child, which is really funny because I feel like the whole reboot of Rainbow High was meant for children, younger. They wanted to push the age demographic for these dolls younger. And resin is not conducive to that, frankly. It's not a craft that's easy to do. It's too finicky. There are too many problems that can arise. And I have some experience with resin crafting and I still struggled with this. I'm gonna show you. She is, of course, on a stand that does not belong to her because she didn't come with one. I did manage to do the glasses. They look a little strange, but they're cute. I mean, it's a cute glasses. There are air bubbles in them, which isn't ideal. There's no way to get rid of them. I had the thinnest resin possible because I sat in that warm bath, and I filled the mold slowly. I was sure to like move it around to make sure the resin got into all the little creases, and that's the result. So it's not great. It looks a little sketchy. This piece is by far the worst one. It has the most air bubbles. This is the largest piece, so that's like the most likely. And my resin may have gotten a little bit too cold by the time I got to that one, and that might be why there are so many extraordinarily large air bubbles in that. I might try and do that one again later, but for now it's fine. Also, the collar, I did have to do it twice, but I think it's the best of them. If you're able to get the resin into the tiny bits of the mold, then the small pieces tend to come out better because there's less of a chance of air bubbles forming in a large capacity. So there are still air bubbles in that, but it's not as bad as some of the other ones. Now, because the pieces were so small, I did have to use an X-Acto knife to shave off the little lip that sets into the collar until it fit. And it took a long time, and it took a lot of hand strength with it, which I don't have very much of, and I can't imagine that children do either. I also changed out her whole skirt because I hated the skirt so much. Here it is. It's sitting right here. I despise it with every fiber of my being. I didn't think I was gonna actually hate it as much as I do. So I am gonna make her a new one. I'll probably eventually replace this part of the top. Overall, I mean, I think the base doll is pretty, even though she didn't quite live up to my expectations, if I'm honest, because I thought she was gonna be a little bit cuter. But I mean, I can't decide if like the troubleshooting the project was fun for me or I hated it with every fiber of my being, and that's something I'm gonna have to think about because I was considering getting the blue one. What's her name? Skylar. I was considering getting Skylar because I need a blue doll. And even though that canonically the aesthetic of that doll does not suit the character of Skylar, I think it's really cute. I think it's kawaii. I think it's precious with the little bear top. I feel like that's less offensive to me, having a plastic top, because it doesn't inhibit the doll's movement at all, and it can read as sort of like PVC or something, whereas I feel like this skirt literally just looks like terrible, horrible plastic, and I hate it so much. So I still might get another one, even though the project didn't go great, even though the shoes are mismatched, even though there's clearly some quality control issues, and even though clearly Rainbow High has suffered a quality disruption, a major one. And I really do hope this is just sort of like a whoopsie daisy, we messed up sort of situation, and they'll go back to just, you know, the original reboot stuff, cute things like the slime dolls where you get like a simple little gimmick and then you get a doll that still has quality in it, because I feel like that's what this is lacking. There's a lot of quality issues, and that's sad to me considering where we came from with Rainbow High. So I think that's enough rambling about it anyway. I got this Bella from the Crystal and Create line. I mean, she's cute. She's cute. So if you did enjoy this video, please like it. If you're enjoying the content you see on this channel, please subscribe and hit the little bell button, click all notifications so YouTube will notify you every time I make a new post. And I hope you have a wonderful time this new year. I hope you have a wonderful time. I'm gonna go finish this face up that I've been working on all day. Goodbye.